Welcome back once again to all of the goths, gays, theys, and metal fans of all other denominations. Today we are doing another metal album review, the most anticipated album that I had coming into January, and that is the Coral Tombs by Ahab. Ahab is a funeral doom band out of Germany, founded in 2004. They obviously get their namesake from Herman Melville's classic novel Moby Dick, or The Whale. This is their fifth record though. They have moved on past Moby Dick, so get that the fuck out of here. The Coral Tombs instead takes its inspiration from Jules Verne's classic novel 20,000 Leagues Under the Seas. Now, fun fact, 20,000 leagues is not actually the depths that the Nautilus reaches. In fact, 20,000 leagues, if you convert that into miles,
each nautical league converts roughly into about 3.452 miles. So if you do that conversion, you are 69,046.767 miles. If you take the circumference of the Earth, 24,901 miles, that 20,000 leagues under the sea, 2.77 times the circumference of the Earth. That is in fact the amount of distance that they travel while underneath the sea.
We are not here to talk about books or math. We are here to talk about some funeral doom. This is the fifth album that has come from Ahab off of Napalm Records this time around. It's been about 8 years since their last release, so let's go and take a look at how it holds up. Was the wait worth it? To start things off, this album has one of the most beautiful cover arts I have seen in a very long time. I adore the artwork on this album. It is just immaculate. The color is fantastic. The way that it focuses in on the characters going through this coral reef and all of these different sea creatures around it, I think it is just perfect. It sets the mood very, very well. And that's probably one of the biggest strengths of this album. Being that it is funeral doom, it does give you plenty of time to explore these themes and explore the different tones of the instruments, and they take full advantage. They cover such a wide breadth of sounds on this album. They really managed to capture that feeling of being in the ocean, that kind of expanse, that openness with the atmosphere that they use to create such a large sound. But at the same time, it is so vast that it is oppressive, much like being in the ocean. If you've ever been out at sea, it can be horrifying at times how open and how far from anything you are. And they just capture that feeling perfectly. It really reminds me of the album Pelagial by the Ocean. Something like that. That album came out a while ago, and I've listened to it a number of times, and I just was always amazed at how much it feels like you're really traveling below the ocean. And no record since then has really captured it in the same way until the Coral Tombs, and I really, really enjoy it. Something else that is really, really interesting to me is just the way that vocals are used to create such dynamic contrast between the different moods that this album creates. You have moments like in the very beginning of the first song, the record just opens up with this pummeling, deep, gurgly vocals and this very kind of menacing backdrop of sound that accompanies it. And I'm not usually a big fan of gurgly style vocals, but it works really well in this case because they don't keep it at the forefront. It is never overpowering the composition. It is buried below or drowned by the other instruments around it, like somebody is choking on seawater. And it is just such a unique way to open up the album. Compared to a lot of the rest of the tracks, this is one of the heavier songs. The way that they build that contrast between this kind of like dark, oppressive sound and open it up later with the clean vocals, I think is just masterful. It really creates this feeling of uneasiness through the rest of the album because when you are in those moments of peace and tranquility, almost mesmerized by how just gorgeous the composition can be and how mellow and easygoing everything is, at any moment it could just take a real sharp turn and you could be back in that deep oppressive sound. For a bunch of songs that are 8+ minutes long, it really helps to kind of create that sense of I don't know what's happening next. I don't know what's going to come next, and it keeps you engaged with the songs very well. The contrast in the guitars as well is very well executed, I think. It really pairs up well with the contrasting vocals. You have these really clean, undistorted guitars on the sections where you implement the clean vocals. It's very slow. It creates a very easygoing, peaceful feeling. And when you descend into the depths of the composition, you really get into this very heavily distorted, sludgy guitar tone that isn't too fuzzy to where you can't, make out each of the notes that are being played. It's just very well done. The drums also just sound impeccable on this record. I love the way that they have been mixed. They are so clear and everything is just so sharp. When everything drops and you get into the heavier sections, you can feel the weight, and the drums just carry so much of that. The entire album clocks in a little over an hour long, and with only 7 tracks, they are all quite expansive in scope. If you are not a fan of Funeral Doom, you're probably not going to really enjoy this because there's not a lot of flashing lights and there's just not a lot of things to kind of catch your attention as the song goes. It's very much a slow burn. It's something to kind of ponder and to create feelings inside of you. It's not really something that you're going to headbang to. So if that's what you're looking for, I can't say that I can really recommend this album, but if you're looking for something that is dynamic, that is unique, that tells a story very well, that just has a great sound, and is something that you can probably put on the background while you're doing something else and not be distracted or not be overwhelmed by something, I think this would be a great album to check out. I think anybody who is interested in Doom in general should check it out. I think it is a great way to start the year. I will definitely have this album on repeat. If you enjoyed this, please be sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below at what other albums you're really looking forward to later this month or later this year. I heard Cattle Decapitation just announced their new album coming out sometime in summer. Cannot wait for that. What albums are you guys looking forward to? Let me know. Alright, stay safe everybody. Be sure to love each other. I'll talk to you later.